Dunk.
How we doing, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Infail here with another silly build because, once again, my usual sorcerer's gripe of not having more than 2 damage types. So I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to blend 2 trees together to get a decent amount of damage. And also using gear that isn't top dog, you know, something you can just get by on fairly cheaply. Now, this build is pretty powerful even with the cheap gear. Now, as you can see, there's some gaps there, and it's because I need to take some skillers out that I lent to my other sorcerers for a video to come. So I've got life mana here, and there are cold skillers, and I've got some cold and fire, I think, and then I've got some fire cold going on here. Annihilus, Hellfire Torch, yeah. So Frostburns for the minus enemy cold, minus enemy fire. And then we're using the Heaven's Brethren set because it's quite easy to get hold of and it gives you a hell of a lot of bonuses. So if you get +1 weapon, which is pretty cheap, I had to slam about 20 of these to get one, but I slammed a +1 weapon. And as you can see, once you've got the set assembled, you get +2 bonus on there. So that's 3 in the weapon slot. Obviously, it doesn't serve much else. But then the helmet slot, you get +2 skills if you manage to roll +2. I had a 3-socket version of this that I lent to my friend, so he could make a melee sorceress with it, which is also a lot of fun, because you get the weaken on striking, and then you get Frost Nova on striking if you have an Innocence armor, which is pretty fun. Again, I don't have the chops to be laying that down in a video, but experiment for yourself. It's very good. So yeah. And then a +2 amulet, just random. Not necessary to have cast rate on it, because this set gives you a crazy amount of cast rate. So the shield is really good for blocking. Again, I had a +3 version of this, but I gave it to a friend so he could use it on his melee sorceress. I went back to a +2 shield just because I went back to being a caster if I managed to make it. So with just that jewel and that diamond. Another plus skills there, so you get +1 from the set bonus and on that shield. The armor, again, another +1 slams, you get +1 on that as standard. If you get it to roll with as much life as possible, again, I slammed about 50 armors, no joke, and never got, usually it was just hole punch, 1 socket every time. And then I finally got a +1 skill slam on a 52 life armor, and I was like, oh god. So yeah, again, could be better. If you can get 100 life +1 slam with 2 P-box, you're laughing. The usual sort of boots for me is big reses to make up for lack of reses, faster run walk to move around a bit of magic find, again, bad roll, magic find, so be it. Cast rate ring, reses again. Snow Clash for the +2 cold skills to really help out the Ice Barrage, but we'll get to that. Cast rate ring, again, life, mana, resistances. So yeah, that's the gear. A very cheap setup, but it seems to do just fine. And then skill-wise, we'll start off in the fire tree. Max Combustion, Max Fireball, 1 point Warmth, and then we sort of splitting between Fire Bolt and Fire Mastery. I can't remember the exact numbers, guys. I'm sorry. I should have looked this up before I made the video. Energy Shield, same deal. We got a staff on switch, Memory, to give us the Energy Shield. As you can see, that's quite hefty at 18. And that's helped out a lot by skills, 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 yeah? So that's why this works to a degree. So yeah. And we get Static Field against bosses again. So try and get yourself a memory staff with static and all that. We get Shiver Armor on the Energy Shield again. So we get Shiver Armor for free, which is pretty cool. So we don't have to go down that side of the tree. So yeah, that's the only lightning tree, skill tree investment because of other buffs. Cold spells. So we've got Max Ice Barrage, Max Glacial Spike, and then we're going for maxing Ice Bolt and Cold Mastery. Again, I'm going sort of piece for piece. So what we do is we go bam, bam. Again, if you were super rich, you'd have like this staff in your inventory to just pop on. You'd have, you know, Call to Arms and stuff to get yourself buffed. And yeah, you've got Ice Barrage as the main skill for against fire, everything else that's not cold immune, and then you can, you know, teleport in and then pop off a Combustion and then anything on the screen that's like cold immune either gets melted from the combustion or the follow-up fireball. You just spam fireball, which is like, you know, nearly 4.5k, and most stuff's quite dead anyway from the initial combustion, even though it's only 3k, because I tend to do it near a wall where you get those explosion radiuses. So you're a bit sort of careful in your combat tactics. So yeah, that's the skills. So we'll pop up the mercenary now. So again, usual stuff. A badly slammed Leviathan, pretty cheap. And Andariel's, that again, bad slam, so just didn't bother selling it, just stuck it on him for cheap. So it's increased attack speed and life leech and stuff. Goblin Toes, Crushing Blow. A random belt, because again, I never really upgraded this guy's gear. His gloves are ghoul hide heavy bracers. Again, why? Again, didn't upgrade his gear. And he has an F Colossus Bulge with insight in it, so I could just keep my mana up. Again, you could maximize the potential of this guy big time. Again, you could have Conviction from Infinity there, and much better gear, of course. But again, the idea in mind I have with this is it's just a cheap starter farmer. So, you know, you go into here, like I said, spam out... Sorry, that was wrong. You spam out that, and then you teleport around. These guys are cold immune, so you break out the combustion, slam out some fireballs, no problems. Those guys are not cold immune, so you can shatter them big time like that, because Ice Barrage is really powerful, as you can see. And bam, again. You can see that combustion really wreck them. So, you know, you don't suffer too much with the power of your Ice Barrage. So it's still, as you can see, pretty powerful. Most stuff gets tapped up pretty hard, yeah? So we teleport along. Oh, those guys. So bam, and then bam. Because they're lightning immune, they get the full force of the fire and the cold, which is great. You know, again, it's fire, you know, that sort of thing. It's fantastic. So these guys are cold immune, so we know, so we slam out that. Oh, sorry, not that. There you go, I made a mistake. So we can slam out combustion, slam out the fireballs. Again, the mercenary's pretty powerful, so he's dealing with it for me, no problems. Now, again, this, like I keep stating, this isn't a powerhouse. This is sort of like start of season build. So you've got cheap gear and a means of farming everywhere just for consistency, because you've got a cold skill and a fire skill. And again, just a cheap memory staff. I mean, the base for this is obviously quite expensive because it's energy shield, shiver armor, static field. People pay big money for those because it takes care of a lot of skills. But predominantly, I would use this to farm corrupted zones because it's very fast, especially like Tarasha Tomb ones. I fly in like this, and then it's like, oh, those guys, they poison immune, so they get hit with that. They're lightning, so they would get hit the same way. Bam, bam. You know, Frigid Highlands is actually a great place for this character to farm, as you can see, because everything's lightning and poison immune. There is some cold and fire in the form of the super unique up here and these slayers and that. So then you have to sort of be a bit creative. As you can see, I was barely concentrating there and they melted. So it's a very fun build. I enjoy it. It's great for fast farming. I mean, a lot of people would argue, yeah, but Dean, fast farming, you might as well have just gone max Ice Barrage. But I like to be able to kill everything. I don't like running into a situation where I'm like, oh, I've only got a cold attack. So I end up, you know, not being able to, yeah, kill it. I just want to kill everything, guys, alright? I'm bloodthirsty. So anyway, that's my Ice Barrage Combustion Sorceress. As I said, I think it works pretty well, like my Frozen Orb Firewall. So again, this is very similar to this. I would do the same gear, but just different skills. I would max Firewall and Blaze, and 9 points in Fire Mastery, 1 point Warmth. Same there, 1-1. And then I would max Frozen Orb, Frost Nova, and as many into Ice Bolt as I could. I think it is maxed, actually, and then Cold Mastery the rest. So that's also a build that I love. I have a guide on Reddit for that one, but it's just a little old and out of date. But it still works. So anyway, I hope you find that interesting, at least, and hopefully inspire you to do some dual tree sorceresses yourself. I've got quite a few of them. The wackiest one I've ever done being Thunderstorm and Hydra. That was a lot of fun. 2 fire and forget skills. You just walk up, fire and forget, and then just stand around. You know, have a drink. Mercenaries tanking for you. Then you look back at the screen. Oh, everything's dead. Cool. You didn't have to do anything. So yeah, that's some wacky sorceresses for you there, everyone. And hopefully you enjoyed.